Hi everyone, Danielle here. I'm doing an overview of an upcoming Kickstarter game, Food Truck Race. Thank you to Gregory Alford for sending me a copy of this game to preview for you guys. So anything you see is a prototype, so things will be subject to change, such as the components and the rules. This game is for 2 to 4 players, takes about 16 minutes to play, ages 13 and up. So in this game, you will be playing a food truck chef. So you'll own a food truck. I have this set up for a 2-player game, and you're trying to have the most money at the end of the game. So taking a look at what I have already set up, this is actually the play to learn mini game. So this game actually comes with a version of the full game that you can just set up and learn to play the game versus just, diving right into the full game, which I think is pretty neat. So let's start off on this board over here. So this is your game board. You will be placing your player trucks onto the $5 space when you set up, and the spaces on this board will actually track how much money you have. I feel like that's not typical, although I guess in this case it really is your victory points, but you'll be able to spend your money on ingredients and groceries and things like that. So it's very cool that you'll be able to really see how far ahead you are versus your other opponents. Down here, we have a lot of the different grocery discs and ingredient cubes. There are 6 different kinds. I'll show you this one. So we have little grocery discs that have a dollar value on the other end. And then we have some of the ingredient cubes, which you'll be placing onto your food truck. And I love that they're going to be coming in these like takeaway boats. So if you've ever, gone to a food truck, sometimes your food might come in one of these. In the center of the board area, you have placed some of these upgrade tiles, and these tiles will be placed on your food truck so that you can make your food truck just a little bit better, essentially upgraded. There's going to be 2 dice that a active player will be rolling on their turn. One die will have A, B, C on them, and then the other die will have 1, 2, 3. And then here we have the hangriest customer first player token, which I think is pretty funny. And then because we have this set up for the learning game, you do also have these other components that you would have in a full game. So I'll show that a little bit later, but that's kind of what they look like. So we're currently not showing that on screen. So as I mentioned, each player will get a food truck player board. This is double-sided. So this is the side you'd play in the full game. And then this is the side you'd use for the pop-up play to learn mini game. And it has the turn sequence information here. And then you'll also grab one of the matching menus. So the bottom one is the yellow player. So I have this card. And there are differences with these menus, as for instance, comparing it to the blue player. There's just different food on the menu. So this one's a taco or leave it, and this one's smash burger. So you'll notice that the ingredients kind of follow that theme. Yeah, but the cost of them are the same, so they do kind of align there. And then you're also going to grab for each player one of these farmers market cards. On the other side, they talk about the turn sequence as well, which is also printed on your board, but what's missing is the hangriest customer. So it says at the end of the round, pass rightmost order card to the right, progress line to the right. And the order cards, again, are used in the full game. So now let me take you through a few turns of the pop-up game. So the recommended kind of start of game thing to do is to buy 3 grocery discs that match the 3 ingredient types on your appetizer line. So for the yellow player, they're going to be getting the nachos and guac ingredients. So that would be a spice, dough, and produce. And that would be a total of $2 that would be spent looking at the farmer's market prices. So we have, we'll just grab one of these. And we'll grab a dough. That'll be $1. We'll move our truck back one space. So every time you spend money, you'll be moving your truck back a space. And you can never go past 0. So once you have $0, you can't really spend it. And then I'll grab a produce. That'll be another dollar for the yellow player. So I've placed each of my grocery discs on A, B, and C. I'll do the same for the blue player. Looking at their appetizer, they're going to grab a spice. They're going to grab a produce. And a dough. They're also going to spend $2. 1, 2. So we do have $3 remaining. Before you start the game, you could spend up to $5, which is what you start with, on upgrade tiles as well. I think I'll save my money for now. So in this turn example, we'll say that the yellow player is going to be the head chef. They would go ahead and roll the dice. But in this case, we're just going to go through an example. So say we rolled an A and a 1. So in that case, all chefs would locate the grocery disc that's on their A prep station and then pick up one ingredient cube that matches the color of their grocery discs on the A spot. So again, all chefs do that. So let's do that here. We have just grabbing one, placing it in this section called the mise en place, I think. I'm not sure. I think that's French. And then for this one, it's going to be a spice. And then after that, the head chef would ask if the chefs have enough ingredient cubes to plate any items on their menu. And if that's the case, then you would return your ingredient cubes to the boats, and then you'll advance the truck by that dollar amount. So say you actually had the cubes to make your appetizer, you would get $4. And after that, if the head chef has their meeple on $0, you really can't buy anything. But if could, you could upgrade um, your food truck. You could get grocery discs. You can organize your truck, things like that. If you're the head chef, otherwise you're just gonna pass the dice clockwise. So let's move to the blue player as the first player right now, or the active player. Say we roll the dice, it becomes a B2. All chefs would look at the grocery discs that are on their B prep station, and then you'll pick up 2 of those ingredient cubes. All right, so they're going to grab 2 of these produce and add it to their food truck. They're going to add these 2 spices into their food truck. You can store up to 8 in this section. Of course, you can upgrade, which allows you to get more spaces. So again, everybody checks if they complete any of their menu items. And if not, that means the head chef will get to do their shopping. And if they're done or they don't have any money, they just pass the dice. All right, last example for this turn would be if we got a C and a 3. So it would be the yellow player's turn, C3. That means they're going to get 3 of the produce. And this one will get 3 dough. And now, at this point, you should be able to plate something. So looking here, they can definitely do an appetizer. They could also do a snack. An appetizer gets them a little bit more money. So we'll remove those cubes that matches the appetizer. So that's going to be that spice, the dough, and the produce, and you'll put it back into these trays, and you'll get $4. So I'll move up 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one, we'll do the same essentially. We'll grab these 3, put them back into the trays, and they'll get $4. All right. And now as the active player, the yellow player could shop, and I think maybe this time they'll buy an upgrade. And keep in mind, you can only buy 1 upgrade per turn. So let's buy a big prep. All right. So I'm going to spend $5 to upgrade the big prep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm only at $2. And I paid $5, meaning I could upgrade slot A with it. So that means I could put 2 ingredients here, and I'll get that many cubes for whatever's in A. Okay. And I'll just do one more turn here, and this time I'll roll the dice and see what happens. So the blue player will be the head chef. All right, we got a B2. So they're going to look at B. They're going to get 2 of these cubes. I'm going to do the same. Looking at B, I'll grab 2 spices. They get to decide if they want to do some shopping, and they will. They will spend 5 for an upgrade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, upgrading the prep for the A. And then I think that's all they'll do for the shopping. So you might wonder, how do you kind of like manage your groceries? So you do have the option to organize your truck, and when you organize them, you can basically repurpose your prep space if you're the head chef. So um, yeah, you could just move your grocery discs between prep stations or from your upgrade tiles. And just keep in mind that our grocery discs have to go on one of these kind of like outlined circle spaces. And that's pretty much it for the pop-up play to learn mini game. You're trying to race to $10, so whoever gets the $10 wins. And this kind of teaches you the basics of how to play the game. All right, so let's take a look at the full game setup. So I flipped over both of these food trucks, and we're gonna just take a quick look at what the differences are. So obviously the left side no longer has the turn sequence, so you'll utilize your reference card to take a look at that. And then at the top of the food truck, you'll have your order line, and it goes towards the right. So this is going to be considered the front of the line, the middle, and back of line. And when you set up the game, everybody gets the same. So this front of line is one snack, the middle is appetizer, and then the back of the line is 2 appetizers. Some additional setup for the full game is that the head chef would choose 6 upgrade tiles. So in the mini game, you do have 4 different ones, but there are additional ones that could come in the game. And you do have abilities to also get these types of upgrade tiles, which you could place here into your food truck, which is pretty neat. Kind of changes up the game depending on which upgrade tiles are available. And then after you set up the game for the full game, keep in mind that depending on the player count, There might be NPCs, or the rulebook refers to them as non-playable chefs, that will basically give an additional role that helps speed the gameplay. So for a two-player game, you would use two NPCs. And so in that case, you would roll an extra time in between each turn just to kind of speed up the game. And then in three or four-player races, you actually don't need to use NPCs. So again, I did mention earlier in the video that there was an additional step here for the full game called Hangriest Customer. So at the end of the round, you'll pass the rightmost order card to the right. And then you'll just push the line to the right. So say it was the yellow player's turn. This order is moved, it goes like that. This gets pushed off, and these are the three new order cards for the player. And then you just draw a new one to fill up that line. And you'll kind of play the same way. You'll roll the dice, you gain your ingredients, you're gonna upgrade your truck however you can with limited amount of money. You will start at $5, and hopefully you'll make enough food and complete enough orders to reach $50. So the first chef to advance their food truck past the $50 spot on the game board declares the end of the race. And there's a line in the rule book that says they must either call final round or call for an extension to $100. So they can decide to extend the game to reach 100 versus $50. And keep in mind that typically adds about 20 minutes of gameplay. If they don't do the $100 extension, there is a final round that takes about 10 minutes. So yeah, that was my overview of Food Truck Race. I think it's a very fun dice game, and also you're managing all your ingredients and how you're upgrading your food truck to hopefully complete your order. So there's kind of a lot going on, but I think it's a very, delightful game. The theme is really relatable. I mean, there's food trucks everywhere, and I think it's just very fun. And although these are, considered prototype components, I do think that the design is very neat, and it's realistic, I feel. There's not really a lot of unrealistic expectations in terms of how you're managing your food truck. I think with the ingredients, your groceries, and the orders, I think it's pretty interesting. Um, and the fact that each truck has their own kind of menu as well, which now I'm realizing this is the smash burger one. So this one would go here. And then I would have to find the pizza one because this one says the slice is right. Um, but yeah, you get the gist of it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks again to the game designer for sending me this preview copy so that I can kind of show off the game. There could be a solo mode coming. That's kind of TBD. So if there's any information on that, I'm sure I'll cover that either on my social media or in the comments below when I get a future update. But in the meantime, if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make videos every week, and even a like or a comment would be appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.